What's the secret behind companies that have super strong company culture? And I'm not just talking about the companies that have unlimited days off or an all you can eat cereal bar at the office, but culture where the team is fully committed to bringing the vision into reality and has an owner's mentality. That's what we're going to dive into today, where you're going to learn how this 8-figure entrepreneur built such a strong company culture on the foundation of her vision. I'm Jennifer Hootie, and this is the It All Started with a Vision series, where you will learn how wildly successful entrepreneurs turn their visions and their ideas into their reality. You'll also learn how you can use the power of vision to attract top talent, align your current team, gain key partnerships, and stay focused and motivated even in the most challenging of times, so that you can create your company's future as a place that you and your team want to visit. In today's episode, I'm talking with Tina Anderson, who is one of the co-founders at Thrive Health. Tina and her husband created a unique supplement that contains a superior probiotic strain of renowned researcher Dr. Simon Cunning. It quickly became the one of the top probiotic companies in the health space, with a world-class culture and 8-figure growth in a couple years. In this episode, you're going to learn why company culture starts with the very first hire, why it's important to communicate your company's vision to the team, especially when you're rapidly growing, and a strange yet simple question to ask yourself so that you can discern what business opportunities to focus on and which ones to ditch. Check it out, and if you love it, share this episode with another entrepreneur who you believe would love it too. Enjoy. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of It All Started with a Vision series. Today, I have Tina Anderson on of Just Thrive. Tina, welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm so excited to be here.
So let's kick off with, what kind of business are you in? Who do you help, and how do you help them?
Yeah, so we are in the gut health supplement business. So we help people become healthier, and the other part of our big picture is just helping people get empowered on health and wellness. We really focus a lot on just giving education and information to people to really start taking health into their own hands. But we are primarily a gut health supplement company.
Mm. And so when you started Just Thrive, where did the vision for Just Thrive come from? Or was there any sort of experience you had where you're like, we got to create this, we got to bring this into the world?
Yeah, definitely. My husband and I had been in the pharmaceutical industry. I was an attorney before I still am an attorney, but I was an attorney in litigation, did litigation for many years. And then I went into a family pharmaceutical business, which was great because I thought, oh, this is wonderful. We're bringing life-saving medications to people. We're helping people get better. And it was really fun to be in that field. But after being in the field for a while, my husband and I started noticing all the abuses in the pharmaceutical industry. We saw the abuse, the overprescribing of medications. We saw family members who would be on one medication, one prescription drug, and the next thing you know, they were on a half a dozen pharmaceuticals and never getting better. And we just saw a lot of the abuses, and it wasn't really the way we led our lives ourselves. We were pretty naturally minded anyway. We didn't give our kids Tylenol, ibuprofen right when they had a fever. We were like, let the body, fight it itself to a certain extent. Of course, we would never let it get it really bad. But it was really, it wasn't just wasn't who we were. We were very naturally focused anyway. So we just started researching, and I think a lot of it was through being at the right place at the right time. We were put in front of some people who were able to get us these exclusive rights to these strains, these probiotic strains. And so we just delved into gut health, and boy, were we blown away by it.
Amazing. So let's back up. So you said like you got an introduction to some people who started educating you on or
Yeah.
for rights of probiotics. So at what point were you though like, okay, we want to start? When did you and your husband come together and say like we want to make something out of this?
Well, we started researching. We started researching about gut health. We started researching about the Human Microbiome Project had been launched shortly before then and told us more about the gut than we ever knew before. I didn't know a lot about launching a product or bringing a product to market, but what I did know how to do was research. And so we just researched and researched, and we were like, this is really amazing that like most probiotics out there aren't really doing exactly what they need to do. They were based on kind of the old science. So we really were like, this needs to come to market. We need to bring something to market that's really going to make a difference in people's lives. And then ironically, we were actually in Italy. We were on the island of Capri with our kids. And we had decided we were going to make a decision that trip, whether or not we were going to do this, whether we were not going to go into this whole new realm in our career. And we ran into Dr. Oz. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if this is not a sign, I mean, I've got to listen to this. We ran into Dr. Oz. He was so gracious, so wonderful. He spent a few minutes talking to us. We were telling him about these spore-based probiotics, which he was familiar with. And so I'm like, this is it. We've got to do it. So we came back and we made a decision and we went from there.
So cool. So when you were at Capri and you were like in this moment of being like, okay, are we going to fully step into this or not? Was there like a vision of what it could be at that point? Or was it more like, we're going to fill this need in the market? And then did the vision for, the company that you have now kind of come afterwards?
Yeah, I think I went into it really naive. I thought, the science was so compelling. I could not believe what these strains were doing for people's microbiome. And we now knew so much more about the microbiome. So I was like, this is great. We're going to this works. So many probiotics aren't really getting to the intestines alive. Most of them are dying. So I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. But then I didn't realize that we needed to market it and we needed to so I just thought, oh, well, you're just going to put a website up and everyone's just going to buy it. And that was definitely naive to think that because, so I thought we would, first launch direct to consumer online and then go to the health food stores. And we actually had an opposite approach. We actually went to health food stores first because they were very educated. They understood what we were talking about. A lot of health food stores we find are really, really educated. And sometimes I learn more from them than I do my own doctor, because they have researched, health and wellness. And so they understood what we were talking about. They understood the research. And so we totally pivoted and we went to the health and wellness stores first. And then we really started building up our online presence. So we had a very different approach than I think most brands out there.
And when you started to connect all of these dots, like with the marketing and the the health food stores, and you started bringing on team, how did you start to enroll people around you in the vision of what you saw for Just Thrive?
Yeah. So I remember our first employee that we hired, I was like, I want people, the customer service was really important to me. I was very, very committed to that. Customers are your bread and butter and you spend money to earn a customer. You want to do everything in your power to keep them. And so I love people. And I was the one that was taking all the customer service calls for a long time. That's the way we started. And I just always remember thinking, I want someone to hang up the phone and feel better than they did before they got on the call with us. And so I remember, explaining that to our first employee. And then as the team grew, I just kept, explaining that to everybody. And that was a huge part of who we wanted to be. We wanted to help people. We wanted them to feel comfortable when they called us and to educate them as much as possible. Even if it meant, there's so many business classes that you read and they're like, oh, you shouldn't even have a customer service department because, that means you're not answering your FAQs better on the website. And for us, I feel the opposite. I want to speak to our customers because they are our bread and butter. And so I just try to, the vision evolved quite dramatically through the years. There's no doubt about that. I didn't even know I had a vision at the time. It's like you just kind of, you did what you had to do, but when along the way you tried to instill some of your own values onto the people on the team.
Mm-hmm. In sharing how your vision has evolved over time, what are some things like over the last couple years that you have become really, really clear on, forecasting into the future what Just Thrive is becoming? What are some of the key parts of your vision now that have locked into place?
Yeah. One of the big ones is that we will only bring products that are missing and needed from the market. So I love vitamin C. I think vitamin C is a super important nutrient, especially now, but we would never get into the vitamin C space because lots of companies do vitamin C very well. Same thing with CBD oil, like I think CBD is great. And it was a hot trend, but I knew that we wanted to stick with who we were. We wanted to only bring products that were missing in the market and truly needed. And so some people may have asked, well, you brought a probiotic to market, and my God, this is the most saturated space on the health and wellness, on the health food store shelves. But it was a different category we were bringing to the probiotic market. We were disruptors in it. And so, but it's really tempting as you start to grow your business to go off and to bring other products to market that are, kind of trendy and people are interested in. But if other companies are doing it well and doing a good job at it, we just let them do that. We only bring things that we feel are missing in the market and needed. And we do focus on gut health, but we also, we have a vitamin K27 product because we know that's a really important nutrient too. So, and I think the other area that we are really, really clear on is culture. Culture is a very, very important part of our vision. I mean, for me personally, it's one of the most gratifying things I've ever done is to build a team and see them being so satisfied and so happy in their career path. And we're all about just making a really nice work environment for them. We give 5 weeks of vacation. We make them take a massage or some type of a a good feeling type of a treatment once a month on company time, and we reimburse them for it. So we're really all about culture. And that is probably the most surprising thing about being an entrepreneur that I've enjoyed is just bringing knowing we're responsible. My husband and I are somewhat responsible in making somebody else's work life satisfying and fun and fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the things that, as we worked together, I noticed it was such a key part of your vivid vision. And I also know that it's something that a lot of entrepreneurs really, really desire is this intention to create a powerful team culture, but sometimes feeling a little bit stuck on okay, how do we do that? So could you provide even one more example? Because I know that you've done this so beautifully, and the paid vacation, the self-care. How have you felt in showing up as a leader and the CEO of the company? How have you infused vision into your culture?
Yeah. I think the other way is that with how we've infused vision into our culture is that we have the vivid vision that we share with everybody. And I think that and they just know that's who we are. And one of the big things that we do is we hire people that are smarter than us. And I always tell them that when we bring them on, I'm bringing you on because you have a skill set that I don't have, or my husband and I don't have. And we are bringing you on because you are better at it than we are, or maybe they're equally as good, but they have, we're doing some different things with the visionaries of the company. But, and I think I really trust that when we bring someone on, they really take over, and we're not micromanaging them, and we're really letting them be who they are, and just having that trust in them. And I think trust is a huge part of that we have implemented with our team. I just have such trust that they're going to do the best job. I don't worry about what hours they're in or not. I mean, I just, they're always on. They really are an amazing group of people.
Hmm.
I don't know, I think I'm just lucky.
Well, and you've also built an environment for those types of people to want to come and work there. Because I feel like with really great talent, they do have a choice on where they work, and uh, culture and the opportunity for growth are things that, especially with younger generations, they make their decisions more so in those areas than even compensation sometimes. And so it just goes to show the culture that you've built. um, what is a specific challenge that you have faced, say even in the last year, where your vision really helped pull you through?
Well, I think the one example that I already gave was the CBD example. You know, we really wanted to. We were like, oh, we want to get into the CBD market because that is such a trend right now, and it's everybody's asking about it. We had customers asking about CBD, and I'm like, oh, we should. And I feel like so much of the endocannabinoid system is found in your gut, and I'm like, here we are, a gut health supplement company. We could do something, but we looked into it, and then we went back to our vivid vision, and we said, no, you know what, it's not who we are, and we're not going to jump on that bandwagon just because it's the popular thing to do. And especially this year with the vitamin C, and we
Mm.
just didn't jump on a lot of the vitamin D. We didn't jump on those bandwagons. We focused on products that were really unique and that were missing, and that we're research based. We're very, very research based. So that was, I think, knowing that and reminding ourselves of that has been really, really important. And it's so easy. It's just so easy as an entrepreneur to get caught up in that and to say, but they'll help our revenue numbers. But it's never, I don't know. I haven't found that it's worth it.
Me either. I've learned some hard lessons by getting distracted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
one of the things I'll share with a lot of our audience and our clients is the power of a vision is then when opportunities come up, you can discern if that opportunity is aligned to your vision or if it's a really seductive distraction.
Mhm.
And I feel like opportunities are the double-edged sword that as us as entrepreneurs like really have to know how to discern what is an opportunity and what's a seductive distraction.
I love
So
that's great. I like that seductive distraction.
yeah, it looks so good. Oh, this totally makes sense. And then, you use the vision as a filter.
Absolutely. And I think
Mhm.
in hiring too, especially, I see that we had someone who was super, super qualified. I was blown away at the talent this person showed and the experience that this person had. But just a few questions that we asked in the interview process, a few comments that were made, the culture wasn't it, and I kept trying to talk myself into it, like, oh, maybe this person will change, maybe, and then I was like,
Mm.
we have built such an incredible team, and like it's honestly incredible to see the way they all work and interact together. And I mean, I'm blown away and how much they all, and I'm like, you just put one person in there that doesn't meet that same culture, it truly is a cancer to an organization, especially when you have such a small team.
Hmm. And so in the hiring process for that person, you had certain questions. Was it to really filter out values and vision? Or what were some of the flags that you knew, okay, they're definitely not what were you basing them off of as far as being a culture fit?
Yeah, well, a lot of times I'll ask them just about them. What is there about you that I can't find out from your resume or your LinkedIn page? And then I want to know them as a person. That's a really important part of it. And it's not that what I think is the right thing. It's more like things that come out of, like, one time there was somebody that I asked what was a confrontation you had with a boss or a colleague, and how did you resolve it, or what was a conflict that you had and how did you resolve it. And the person was like, well, let me tell you.
Woo.
Yeah, that is not, yeah, we don't really resolve conflict like that here, and then he just went on and on and on. And I'm like, oh my God. And I mean, he was so impressive and, but it just wouldn't have worked for our, and there probably is this, a culture that might have worked for him, but it just didn't work the way we operate in our business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did him and yourself a favor. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple of those too, where it's like all good. And then you'll ask that one question that's usually like aligned to your values, kind of those questions where you're not saying like, do you have a value of trust?
Yeah.
Because then they're like, of course I do.
Yes.
Instead, it's like, okay, tell me about a time where, you maybe messed up at a past job and what did you do about it? And like, hearing their story and how they explain it can sometimes then see if they have that value of trust by sharing their past experience. So
yes.
Yeah. So you have a 3-year vivid vision that is designed and you infused into your company. Curious, what were maybe some of the challenges that you faced in your business before really having the physical documentation of a vivid vision?
I think one of the challenges that we had was just not having everybody on the same page. As we grew kind of quickly, and we hired one person as a digital marketing strategist, and we hired another person as customer service, and someone else as operations, and we would talk to them in their own silo. And now all of a sudden but we realized that not everybody knew where we were going. And so it really was a way to bring us together even more. And so the challenge, I think, was just that we were all kind of going in different directions. And now we knew the direction that we were going in, and we knew what the values were, and we knew what we wanted for the company and things to work towards. And so even if it was somebody in marketing that was trying to achieve something that was part of the vivid vision, then the person in operations would be supporting that person's desire, because they're all going to the same place. Mm-hmm. And I think that was probably one of the biggest challenges that we overcame, was just getting everybody out of their silos and working toward one common goal, or many common goals, but the common goals that were part of our vivid vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially being like a startup at first, it's like just bringing in the people to then be able to keep growing and growing and growing until it's like, okay,
yeah,
where are we growing to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So what are some of the parts of your vivid vision that have come into fruition since creating it?
Yeah, I would say the culture, for sure. The culture is a huge part of it. And then being on some massive health and wellness podcasts. And that was a big part of our vision, was just getting our name out there. And I think being invited on some of the biggest health and wellness podcasts multiple times has been really exciting for us. So, and that was in there, and we've got our team working toward those goals too.
Mm-hmm. So good. Final question. What part of your vivid vision are you most excited to bring into reality?
Just one of the parts of our vivid vision is to make Just Thrive like a household name. So everybody's talking about, they just know, well, yeah, do you take your Just Thrive, or do you take your Just Thrive probiotic? I really want it to become a household name, because I want it's the single easiest thing for all of us to do for our health. It's just our gut health is the foundation of our health. And if we could make a difference by getting as many people, one of our goals is to get to have 1 million customers in the next, couple of years. It would be amazing just to be able to know that we played this part in helping someone live their best lives, be healthy, and just supporting their immune system, especially during this time. That would be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I feel like these times are such a opportunity for y'all to really play a big role, where like health is at the forefront now more than ever of what can we all do to increase our immune system? What can we do to really take our health into our own hands? And so it's super cool that you guys have that, as your North Star.
Yeah, it's been really, really gratifying these last couple months, knowing that what we're doing is actually helping people during this time. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not a cure for any type of virus. I don't suggest that, but we know that 80% of our immune system is found in our gut lining. So first and foremost, we need to take care of our gut health. And so it's been really, really cool to see us like having such a huge, role and during this time.
Hmm. Awesome. Well, final question. Where can people find you, find Just Thrive? What's your website?
Yep, it's justthrivehealth.com. Then, like on Instagram, it's at justthrivehealth. At justthrivehealth.com. It's super easy.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being on, Tina.
Oh,
I
thank you.
appreciate you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Hello, my friend. I hope you loved this episode. Can you do me a favor? And if you know another entrepreneur who would really benefit from it, go ahead and send it on over to them. Also, if you're interested in learning about how you can create a vivid vision for your company, which is a powerful document that paints the picture of exactly what you want your company to look like 3 years into the future as if it's already happened, then you can head on over to createyourvividvision.com to learn more. Because a business that knows where it's going is more likely to get there. So whatever challenges that you're facing right now in your company, whether you have team members and contractors who are constantly asking what to do each step of the way, and it really challenges you from being able to focus on the needle movers in your company, or maybe you have top team members that are leaving to work for other companies, or you're having a challenge recruiting top talent, or you really want to scale, but you keep getting it dragged into the day-to-day because your team really can't see the big picture of where you're going. Or maybe you're crystal clear of what you know your vision looks like in your mind, but when it comes to communicating it to your team and your clients and your vendors, you kind of get stuck and it seems a lot more muffled than it does in your mind. If you run into any of these, a vivid vision can really help you. It's a powerful tool for you to be able to attract top talent, to be able to align your current team, to gain key partnerships, and for you as the entrepreneur, CEO, to really stay focused and motivated even in the most challenging of times. So if you're interested in learning more, head on over to createyourvividvision.com.